diversity is the fabric that weaves humanity together. Celebrating our differences is the thread that strengthens our collective identity. With so much style, glitz and fanfare, TVC Communications celebrated the 4th edition of its Cultural Diversity Day, where members of staff showcased various aspects of culture from different ethnic groups. The event was spiced with various activities like the fashion show among the various departments in the organization, where TVC News emerged the winner. Now let's share the thrills and frills of the event with you.
It was a colorful sight to behold. Management and staff of TVC Communications, Lagos headquarters. It is the 4th edition of the Cultural Diversity Day, which began in the year 2020. The event came alive with colorful outfits, music, and a spectacular fashion parade that showcased the beauty of Nigeria's culture. Diverse cultural backgrounds represented within the organization. Highlighting the importance of embracing diversity in all its forms, the CEO of TVC Communications, Victoria Ajayi, commended the staff for their teamwork and fostering strong bonds.
We have over 20 ethnicities in the company, different tribes, different tongues, and so it's exciting. It makes us vibrant. It makes us unique. I believe strongly that it's in our cultural differences that you find strength. It's in our cultural differences you find beauty.
Talking about the motivation for organizing the Cultural Diversity Day event, the Director, People, Culture, Experience and Operations of TVC Communications, Kemi Shonobi, highlighted the necessity of promoting team bonding and encouraging a fun atmosphere in the workplace.
It's an opportunity for people to gather, to relax, take their mind off core work, but they're still working because they're playing. But it's also a reminder of our differences and celebrating those differences.
Director of Current Affairs, TVC Communications, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, captured the essence and went further to propose how this initiative can be sustained.
We need to take this celebration seriously because it reminds us of our roots as a people. Look at this now. This fabric is native to the people of Borno State. You see their governor, Professor Umara Zulum, wear it repeatedly because it projects the identity of Borno State. So on a day like this, I chose to wear my agbada made of fabric indigenous to Borno State. And of course the cap is not the cap made popular by Borno people. If you add my offer to it, then you can conveniently say that I've represented 4 distinct cultures. You know, by the way I'm dressed today, I'm the Okulora Ndibo. So this is my staff.
The staff of TVC Communications expressed their excitement, commending the management for organizing the event.
Events like this should be had from time to time, because it reminds us that what brings us together or what binds us together as a nation is stronger and better than those things that put us apart. So for me, that's the beauty and that's the essence of an event like this.
It's just fun, and one of the things that we do here at TVC Communication, just try to make people happy, make this place a great place to work. It's not just about the work in itself, but it's also the fun, and all of these things that excite people and make people want to work and do more.
Culture itself speaks. It's what we are. It says who we are. So how diversified we are also shows how creative we could be with our content. And it also reflects in day-to-day activity within the premises and in terms of performance and deliverables by various individuals within the business.
1, 2, go! Let's go there now. Oh my God. Everybody, contestant number 5! Put your hands together for them. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The major highlight of the event was the fashion parade competition, with TVC News emerging the winner.
4 departments. PCEO, can you please step forward? And the winner for the TVC News Cultural Diversity Day 2024 goes to no other department but TVC News.
The news department won through the beautiful display by the duo of Ayodele Alogi and Lucy O'Hare in epic Babyo outfits.
A round of applause for them, everyone.
As if that was not enough, the icing on the cake was the dance moves of the senior management team members, led by the group managing director, Victoria Ajayi.
Super colorful indeed. BK, it was in fact super colorful. But to you, what were the highlights of the event that day?
Yeah, it was the opportunity to show people that I'm probably the best dancer. I've been underrated for so long.
Oh, yes.
I just had to show them who is in charge when it comes to dancing.
I like that, who's in charge.
Yes, and they didn't show every bit of what we did, but a strong competitor finishes strong.
Sure.
And I thought on the day, I finished very strong. I put the other management staff to the sword. Sure. I'm sure they now know.
All right, now BKO, with over 200...
BKO does not just dance on TikTok. He's always ready.
Always ready.
Yes.
All right, but BKO, with over 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria, why do we need to celebrate our cultural diversity?
We need to celebrate because, first and foremost, the young people need to know who we are.
Sure.
Nigerians are very poor in terms of the nation's history. And one of the worst disservice that was done to us as a people was to take history off the curriculum. Today, Many of our young people can't speak our language. Some struggle to speak and murdered our languages in the process. It's such a massive shame. We need to not forget our roots. We need to show that Nigeria's diversity is the strength of the country and that our culture is very rich. If white people can be learning our language, you go to America, their universities have departments teaching not just African languages, but focusing on Yoruba language, because the language is very rich. The Hausa language is very rich. Why have we chosen to not teach our children to speak our language? If we are not careful, those languages will go extinct. The way some of our cultures are gradually fading off. When I was younger, we used to enjoy the Egungun festival in my community. But today, it's no longer like before. Foreign religions came, and our people have chosen to embrace foreign religions and brush aside their own religion. So I think that we need to take our culture seriously. And if you travel across Nigeria, you see that Nigeria is a beautiful country with very rich culture. This was an opportunity for us to demonstrate that. It was also an opportunity for us to loosen up. We work so hard. We flog our body working for the company. There are times when we need to simply unwind, make ourselves happy, and that's what we saw here.
All work and no play.
Yes, makes BKO a dull.
All right, Adeolade, cultural imperialism, you talked about it. Yeah, it's eaten into our society on a daily basis. Now let's look at the roles of parents and elders in preserving our culture for the future. Some even call our language vernacular. So sad.
I think, first of all, part of the responsibilities of the media, the mass media, is to promote our culture, to promote our indigenous values, to promote our heritage. Our culture is the only immunity that is remaining against total colonization and slavery. Even though Nigeria got independence in 1960, we are still tied to the upspring of, mental slavery. That you go to primary school, secondary school, when you speak your language given to you by God, people will tell you it's vernacular. So I think I am really happy about what TVC has done, because the fact of the matter is that promoting culture is also linked to creative economy. It's linked to tourism. It's linked to developing the potentials, discovering creativity of our people. Many of them never went to school, never went to university, but they have a lot of talents. And I think the United Nations set up the Permanent Forum of Indigenous People. I think around 2023, the first decade, where indigenous people all over the world assemble every year to speak their language and to be interpreted in the various English and all that. So it means that the world also recognizes that our values, our heritage, must not be allowed to die. So I say congratulations to TVC.
Thank you very much, Adewale Adeoye. All right, let's move straight to our other conversation. Where rewarding patriotic acts and services to the nation imbues citizens with a sense of loyalty and pride. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State is towing this path as he rewards composers of the state anthem, Asiwaju Niwa, with 25 million naira. In addition, the composers would be given a parcel of land each and have streets named after them, while the Ministry of Information and Orientation would produce a documentary on the history behind the anthem. Now let's share that anthem with you. Well, a beautiful anthem there. Biko, Oyo State Governor rewarding the composers of the official state anthem after 10 years without any compensation. Commendable, isn't it?
Yes, that's a governor who has shown leadership. And in many ways, we've got to be fair to him. Governor Seyi Makinde has been a good governor for the people of Oyo State. When we praise people, they will say, they've been paid, they've been settled. Because those Nigerians out there on social media, they think everyone is as cheap as they are. Any governor who does something good deserves to be praised. The people who have been paid this money now, you know that they are not going to give me a slice of what they got.
Sure.
But you have rewarded them. Definitely, they will to solve some problems with the money that the governor has made available to them. So that is spreading joy. That is rewarding excellence. Because this is an excellent anthem. You know? Ekiti too has their own beautiful anthem. When I went to Ekiti to witness the swearing in of the speaker in 2019, they played the anthem and I was so happy. I was in Funab the other day to give a speech. They played the anthem. I said, this is a beautiful anthem. So you just have the feeling that our people are so talented, and when you give them a job to do, they deliver. And when they deliver, they expect that, of course, you will reward them for their effort, for the hard work that they put into it. Now, this governor has done that. He deserves our praise. True. Because some other governor will simply abuse like it didn't happen. But he wants excellence, reward for excellence to be instituted in his state, and he's gone ahead to do that. So kudos to Engineer Seyi Makinde for his thoughtfulness in rewarding those who...
After 10 years.
Yes. He wasn't the one who commissioned them to do the anthem. But he decided to reward them because government is a continuum.
Exactly.
You know, those who abandon projects initiated by their predecessors, sometimes for political reasons, they need to stop the habit because it makes no sense.
Sure.
Government is a continuum. Whatever your predecessor has done, once it is not evil that he has done, you have every reason to continue. And rewarding these composers is one way of showing that government indeed is a continuum.
All right, Adewale Oderi, the governor, after 10 years of composing this beautiful anthem, he has, now rewarded them.
You see, productivity...
Substantially.
Yeah, productivity is not just when you go to factories to work. You can be productive in terms of providing ideas. All the works of Professor Soyinka, you cannot quantify it. Just product of imagination and ideas. So people who can compose an anthem for a state, I think they deserve an award. And one significant thing is that the government that, under which that anthem was composed was a government opposed to his own. It was APC government. But he didn't say because of that, that it will be vindictive. So I think it's a remarkable development, giving them cash and also naming, in fact, the most significant is not even the cash, but to even name eternal monuments on them. Sure. People will remember those streets, and it's also to encourage our people.
Give them parcels of land.
Yeah, parcels of land. You know, is to encourage our people that look, ideas is also, you know, a form of productivity. So I'm really glad. The only thing is that, you see, the national anthem idea started around 2011 in the Southwest. The idea was to have one uniform, you know. They started in Oyo State, and all the states, they set up a committee. I was actually in one of the committees at that time. The idea was to have one uniform for the entire Southwest. But somehow, you know, some of the governors didn't agree for political reasons. So I think even though states could have their own individual item, there's nothing wrong with one people, shared history, shared destiny, having a common, you know, anthem that we, you know, embrace the entire Southwest. And I think it's also a function of federalism. You can't try this when we had a military system. The states should have the right to, you know, have their own anthem based on their own history. So I think I'm happy for what he has done, and I hope other states will also emulate him, because we also have state items in, you know, apart from Oyo, another. They should compensate them.
I love Ogun State. I'm from Ogun State. Beautiful.
Great.
It gives me chill. But Bike, is this a wake-up call for the federal government to immortalize the likes of Taiwo Akikomi, Ben Odiase, that composed the like of the old anthem? You know, to immortalize those persons. Is this a wake-up call here?
I remember clearly when Odiase died. We didn't treat him like a national hero at all.
Oh dear.
And this is the way we treat those who have done great things for their country. And it's such a shame. The man who won for us our first FIFA championship, Sebastian Broderick Maswen. He was ill. I made efforts on my own to get Nigerian officials to assist. They did virtually nothing.
Wow.
Yes. His wife called me repeatedly. I tried my best. But we are in a country where once some people get to government, they become inaccessible to their best friends. And they won't be in government forever.
Sure.
This saying that a friend in government is a friend lost is real.
Real?
Yes.
Experience?
Yes. Real. People think that these people in government they are my friends, I can get a lot of things done. A lot of them, I don't even have their phone numbers. You see message people send to me. I don't even have their phone numbers. And even if I have their phone numbers, sometimes you call them, they will not pick your call.
Wow.
They will only pick your call if they need you. When they call you on their own, you know that they need you. So it's unfortunate. The Baba who composed the NYC anthem, I remember, was ill, but the then NYC DG, General Shuaibu, went to see him in his house in Ogun State. You know, he went to see him. And shortly after that, the man died.
Wow.
Do you know how many stories people have written about the man who designed our flag? Many stories of his neglect that people had written. In the print media, when I was in the print media, such stories were common. But it makes no sense to not reward these people when they are on earth. You don't wait until they are dead and then you start thinking of naming something after them. No, it's not right. You see, how do you stimulate the desire of the Nigerian people to want to serve their country when they can see the way you are treating genuine heroes? So it has to change. The people in government, they need to change their ways.
Talking about Taiwo Akikomi, the government said they were going to give him a state burial, but you know, nothing happened. But
it's not their priority. It's not their priority.
But we have lots of greats like Rashidi Yekini, the way he died. And there are lots of them that I feel the government really needs to do better in that regard. But you know, a good one. You know,
yes, good one. We'll keep saying it.
You know, a good one.
You know,
your state government for doing that after 10 years. All right, let the conversation continue. One delicate thing about ideas is that some may be popular, but bad, while others may be good but unpopular. Balancing the act is the hallmark of effective leadership. The federal government has remained resolute in its decision to bar under-18 students from sitting for the school certificate examinations. During an inter-ministerial press briefing in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, said parents are often in a hurry to send their children to tertiary institutions, which compromises their preparedness. Professor Maman added that the decision of the federal government is in accordance with the Universal Basic Education Act and the Minimum Standards Policy Act established in 1993. All right, Walade, let me come to you here. What do you make of the federal government's reaction to the controversial decision to bar students under 18 from taking the SSC examination, from entering the university?
Well, for me, I think we have to weigh the two sides of the coin. The argument of the government is that the students need to be mature, that they need to, that parents are in a hurry, and that students who want to enter university at least should be 18 years old. But I think there are a whole lot of things that are tied to this issue. The first one is the process of decision taking.
Okay.
There are 274 universities in this country. And when you are taking a decision like this, you want to ask yourself, what is the level of consultation? Has there been any research that has been conducted by the Federal Ministry of Education to prove that substantially parents are in a rush, to have, is there a research, a document, paper,
like an empirical fact
driven by scientific evidence? And was there consultation, with the Senate Committee on Education, the House of Rep Committee on Education, the state universities? Was there consultation with ASU? Do they even consult IFE, for instance? Because IFE had no age limit at a point. IFE was established in 1965 and one of the best universities in Africa. There must have been a reason why IFE said, oh, look, we are not taking age limit to be admitted here. Then do we even make any attempt to find out global standards? And I discovered that in other countries, we have people who enter universities at 16, at 15. In the US, for instance, if you are less than 18, all they will require in Britain is to require for parental guidance, to a kind of consent letter from your parents. And we have seen cases where, remarkably, we have seen somebody like Yasha Hartley, who became a graduate at the age of 12. Michael Kenny, he became a BSc holder at the age of 10 years and 4 months. Even in this country, I can remember there was one Abati that entered University of Lagos, University of Lagos State University at the age of 12.
He got his PhD at 24.
So we need to be very careful when taking decisions that have overwhelming impact.
But when you say this, I thought we had a national education policy. It's a law that 18 is the... Is it that they've not been implementing that law?
You see, we have to also look at things from historical context. The NUC was established in 1960s as a kind of agency in the cabinet office. It only had statutory powers in 1974. It was when the military came in 1960, they now said, okay, you must be supervising. There were universities that were established before the NUC even came. So what this idea of having, in the US, regional bodies, set standards for universities, states set standards for public universities. So because they are based on certain objective conditions in those universities. So this idea of having one central body, it is only when NUC now came, I think in 1974, they now even gave them right to accredit courses. To the extent that at a point, they were even banning some courses like history, that because they were radicalizing students, philosophy. Because when you go to universities in those days, those who were in the arts, core arts, were the ones that were leading radical movements. So the government came with a policy that, look, we should stop teaching all this kind of... So I think it's one of the fault lines of our federal system. And I believe that the government should be diligent, before... in other countries you have these programs, but they are not enforced. Because there are always exceptions. And I believe that only very few people, are the ones they are talking about, that people are in a hurry. Why are people in a hurry? When at 30 years, you are graduate, you don't have a job. You go to the university, instead of 24 years, you spend 8 years.
All right, let me come to BK. Generally speaking, age has a complex relationship with academic achievement here. But is there, I'm going to ask you two questions. Number one, is there an age limit to enter the university globally? That's one. And also, what is the rule when it comes to Nigeria and its national education policy of 2030?
Many countries of the world enforce the age limit. And where a child is underage, for example, parents are required to accompany the child. There are exceptions. Children who are exceptionally brilliant,
the gifted ones.
Yes, the gifted ones are permitted, for example.
Okay.
The law is waived for such children.
For accelerated.
Yes,
okay.
But the law is there that you cannot enter a university until you are of so age.
Okay.
Yes, it's not only in Nigeria that such a law is in place.
Okay.
Now, the fact that it has not been enforced does not mean the law was not there.
Okay.
We've always had the Basic Education Act and the Minimum Standards Policy Act of 1993, and it prescribes age limits for each education level. It prescribes age limits. There was a time when we didn't have JAMB now. Universities admitted, like my dad, for example, graduated from UI in 1969. He did not have to do JAMB. JAMB came later. Well, when laws are put in place, it is expected that those laws will be obeyed. The problem for us is that even those who institute laws do not show enough zeal to enforce the law or even test the law.
So should the government be blamed here for not implementing that law?
Yes. If you had a law since 1993, how come is this government that is just drawing attention to it? That for every level of education there is what's it called? An age ceiling. Not ceiling in the real sense that the entry age is prescribed. So, and you know, if children are supposed to enter primary 1 at the age of 6, I know that for a lot of us, that's not the case. My last born, for example, will leave school before he's even 16. Because he's 15 now, he won't be, before he's 17, I mean, he's 15 now. By November next year, he will be 16. I mean, he will be 17. He's 15 now. By November this year, he will be 16.
16.
Yes, and by November of next year, he will be 17. He will have left secondary school before he's 17. You know? So there should have been enlightenment. I'm happy that at least the minister has said, okay, from 2025. Well, my own, I do not like it as a parent because I know it will affect my own child. But I cannot see the fact that the law was there and then say, no, you cannot, you shouldn't enforce it or you shouldn't talk about it. My own concern is that over the years, we did not institute this. There was a law establishing JAMB, requiring that before you can gain admission to a university, even if it's a private university, you must sit for JAMB. The moment JAMB was put in place, universities were no longer directly admitting students.
Because you talked about gifted children, accelerated education. How would the government now see this one? Every parent will now say, oh, my child is also gifted.
How did the Americans see the fact that a boy was 12 years and allowed him to pass through the system? Check with some of your friends who are based in the US. Ask them whether this age restriction is not there. Just ask. How many times have we seen a 12-year-old get into the university in the US? How many times? True. You know, if you are talking about gifted children, for example, gifted children, there's no way if a child is gifted, we will know now. There's even an academy in Abuja strictly for gifted children. Yes, I know about that school. So you will know now, because there will be some parameters that will be used to determine whether a child is indeed gifted. And that's why I said the example of the 12-year-old in America, how many such examples are there? Because that one distinguished himself, and in order not to stop a genius from blossoming, they had to let him go through that system. When I was during my secondary school, we had one Ebira boy, then Innocent Ibrahim Ahmed, he's dead now. He had to do they made him go through 2 double promotions. And on every occasion, he excelled. They had to leave our class, jump to another class, because he was too brilliant.
It was too much.
Yes, 2 double promotions in 5 years. Innocent Ibrahim Ahmed. Anybody who went to school, Abdulaziz Atta Memorial College, Okene, when I was there, they will recall this person was just too brilliant for that level of education. And they let him do he got 2 double promotions in 5 years.
I also got double promotion from
they do get 2
from 4 to 6. I got double promotion. But all right, BK was talking about the age, and I do mind is the devil's workshop. In the UK, we have the A level, but if the 6334, you're supposed to end at age 16. Now you're to wait maybe like 2 years. What happens between the 2-year gap? What should we use to fill it? Should the government now come up with a policy that we use to fill that gap?
There is going to be a lot of disruption in the private lives of millions of people, and also in the academic curriculum of several institutions. For instance, people who have taken, who will take JAM next year, probably people who are 16 years old. It means there's no guarantee for them to, go straight into the university. And don't also forget, every country has its own subjective and objective situation. In the US, accessibility to education is not like what we have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, it's becoming increasingly more difficult for people to even have access to university education, even secondary school education. How many secondary schools do we have? About 23,000 plus, compared with our population. So the fact of the matter is that the government with this policy will make it more difficult for people to go ahead of their education. And you see, these countries we are mentioning, there are a lot of efforts put into consultation, research. So my fear is that in a corrupt country, this policy will encourage many parents to twist the age of their. That's what will happen. That is what will happen.
Another one.
This is Nigeria. That is what will happen.
All right.
And you see, the rich will send their children to countries where they know they can enter university at 16. Any policy that we want to implement in Nigeria, let us usually have wide consultation and to have enough time frame to be able to implement such policies.
All right then. All right, thank you very much. Let's move straight to our next story. In the words of a former South African president and anti-apartheid activist, Nelson Mandela, no matter how long it takes, justice will be served. These powerful words echoed the position of the Kwara State government on the recently delivered court judgment on the Offa robbery case. The deadly robbery, which occurred in April 2018, led to the death of 33 people, including pregnant women and policemen. State governments commended the verdict of the court, which saw the conviction of the 5 criminals as proof of the moral uprightness of the court. Let's share the story of the court judgments by TVC News Ibrahim Alage with you.
On the 5th of April 2018, daredevil armed robbers attacked the Offa Divisional Police Headquarters before robbing 5 banks. In the process, policemen and civilians numbering about 30 were killed, while millions of naira were equally carted away. 6 suspects, a policeman, Michael Adiku, Ayuade Akiniboson, Aziz Salaudin, Niji Ogundiran, Ibikunle Ogunleye, and Adeola Abraham, were arrested in connection with the bloody bank robbery. Michael Adiku died in police custody, while the remaining 5 pleaded not guilty, claiming alibi when the trial commenced in November 2018. Delivering judgment, Justice Halima Salman found them guilty of all the counts charged and sentenced them accordingly. The court held that the 5 suspects have no license to carry arms and sentenced them to 3 years imprisonment. On culpable homicide and armed robbery, the court found them guilty and sentenced them to death by hanging.
Armed robbery, murder, that is culpable homicide punishable with death, and unlawful possession of firearm. So those are the 3 basic things. And apart from the conviction, the sentence was also pronounced, and the maximum sentence that the court can pronounce on those 2 capital offenses are the death. They carried death sentence by hanging.
The lead defense counsel, Matthias Emiribe, was not in court, but one of the defense counsel said the judgment was expected and will be appealed.
I am not surprised, and likewise my principal counsel is not in surprise as regards to the judgment of today.
So what will be the next line of action?
Of course, in line with AG Oyo State against Bilo, it's an automatic appeal. It's an automatic appeal, and definitely it's going to stay. So I think it's one of those things that Mr. Emiribe have started doing, compiling the record and whatever, so that at least we move to the upstairs.
The suspects had been standing trial since November 2018.
It's been 6 years of intense legal battle over this case, and at the end of the day, these suspects have been sentenced to death by hanging. But this may not be the end of it all, as the defense is willing to appeal the judgment. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.
Meanwhile, the sentencing of the Offa robbery kingpins was a product of diligent investigation by the police. Now let's refresh your memory with some parts of their confession.
My involvement with the Senate President, we are his boys. We work for him at Kwara South. We are the one that holds Kwara South for him. We have 3 senatorial districts in Kwara State. We have Kwara South, Kwara North, Kwara Central. There are some people in Kwara Central, there are some people in Kwara North, there are some people in Kwara Central too. We've been working for him. It's over. When we are in PDP, it has been long.
Can you at least be specific?
When he was the governor of Kwara State, we are the one that we mobilize, and we are the one that do political arrangements for him.
Describe it.
For example, where we are not supposed, where we can't win, we make the Baru arrangement there. We scatter elections if we don't win. We have so many political talks in Kwara Central, in Ilorin. People like Alhaji Alao, people like Alhaji Dawando, people like Alhaji Dano, we used to call him Alhaji White, and so on. They know themselves. As I'm speaking, if they can hear me, they know what I'm talking about. They also are dangerous. They are fully armed.
Who armed them?
They are armed by the Senate President,
The killing of the two people I killed, it was out of fear, because I was being disturbed when the voting was going on.
I was in the front of the bank when they started shouting. Louder. When they started shouting thief, thief, and started carry the stone, threw the stone, and then the stone knocked me. So that is why.
That might just give me the, this man just give me the gun, so make I just hold like this, so because anything won't happen, so make I do this.
Senator Bukola Saraki is being invited by the Nigerian Police Force to report to the Force Intelligence Response Team office in Gusape, Abuja, to answer to all the allegations leveled against him from the conventions of the 5 gang leaders, namely Ayuade Akinibosun, Ibikunle Ogunleye, Adeola Abraham, Salaudeen Aziz, Niyi Ogundiran, and some of the other 17 suspects arrested for direct involvement and active participation in the Offa Bank robbery and the gruesome killing of 33 innocent persons, which include some pregnant women and 9 police personnel. The Nigerian Police Force will continue to ensure that the rule of law prevails in every case under investigation and every offender is brought to justice.
Okay, Biko, for persons who may have forgotten about what happened on the 5th of April 2018 in Offa, Kwara State, take us through memory lane about what happened on that very day.
Yes, as you said, the robbery took place on the 5th of April 2018, which means that the judgment came after 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah, because the case commenced on November 2018, and they were found guilty of unlawful possession of firearms, which carries a 3-year sentence, and robbery and culpable homicide. That one, the punishment is death by hanging. Now, in their confession, Ayuade Akinibosun and 4 that said they were working for the former Senate president as his political thugs. Okay. They disclosed that they were armed by his political family. They claimed that they got their vehicles from former Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed through his chief of staff, Yusuf Abdul Wahab, on the instruction of the political leader. So they took the Lexus Jeep to Offa to rob and returned it to Government House Ilorin, to hide there. You can see the former force, deputy force spokesman, Jimo, even went as far as demanding that the former Senate president should come and explain himself. This case has come and gone. We know now that they are going to appeal this case because the defense lawyer has told us that they are going to appeal the case. The prime suspect, Adiku, we also know that he died, according to the police, in custody, although some of those criminals claim that he was actually executed by the police in custody. We were not there.
Exactly.
But again, extrajudicial killings happen within the 4 walls of police stations. So perhaps that was what happened. Perhaps the suspects were telling us the truth. Justice Alima Salman, who gave the judgment, did not see any reason to convict the Senate president, the former Senate president. It was not even put on trial. Perhaps at the level of investigation, they couldn't link him with the crime. And for some of the people on social media who are saying, where is the man who sent them? No. So let's be.
There's a lot of ignorance.
Yes, let's tell ourselves the truth. I could borrow you my Jeep, for example.
Okay.
I will tell you when to return it. There's no way I will know exactly what you want to do with the Jeep.
Where I went to.
Aduku was the main criminal.
True.
He used to be in anti-robbery squad of the police.
Okay.
He was dismissed for the crimes that he committed. He was jailed. He had a light sentencing.
Okay.
And then he came back to continue to kill people. 33 persons were killed on the day. Some of them were bystanders, some of them were inside the banking hall. And they attacked 5 different banks.
Yes.
People doing POS business, people by the roadside, they were just shot at will. It was pure madness on the day.
Oh dear.
Pure madness. And one person accounted for the lives of 22 persons.
Wow.
So, back to the point that I'm making. The judge didn't convict Bukola Saraki. He was not even put on trial. So the question people are asking that, how come Bukola? No. If he was not put on trial along with them, there is no reason to ask why is he not part of those sentenced. That's why you talked about ignorance. There's a lot of ignorance bothering our people, and this case proves it. Those saying Bukola Saraki should have similarly been sentenced to death, they are being unfair to the man because somebody was not put on trial. How do you then sentence him to death? Yes, they used vehicles that he provided for his thugs, based on the confessions of those thugs, not my own confessions. But the thugs eventually joined Aduku to go and carry out
this evil.
This robbery, and they used those some of those vehicles. As you can see, the police even recovered one of those vehicles, and it carried the Saraki number plate. You know, carrying the number plate, all they were trying to do at that time was, okay, wherever we get to, they will know that this belongs to Saraki. They will not disturb us. Police will not harass us, and know that they won't pull us aside. This is a lesson for politicians and other people.
True.
It's not every vehicle that should carry your number plate. If you don't want to be embarrassed, the way the former Senate President was embarrassed at that time, it's not every vehicle that should carry your number plate. Because if they go to commit a crime with it, you could be accused of vicarious liability. So I think this is a lesson to Bukola Saraki and other politicians.
All right, Adewale, they've been sentenced to die by hanging, but we know that most of these governors, they don't sign these death warrants. What happens here? Are they just going to be there, or will the governors be able to sign? Will the governor be able to sign this?
Well, I think it's most likely it's certain that they're going to appeal, because that's a terminal sentence, you know. If they're able to get, if the Supreme Court is able to affirm their death sentence, I think it's most likely they might be allowed to die instrumentally instead of being hanged. And what do I mean by that? Maybe they will be detained, and then they will be there forever. But you see, in this country, a lot of things happen. There are no criminals without. Most of them, you have people who support them spiritually. Then you have those who are their godfathers in the security services. You also have those who give them, you know, who are their main backers, you know, whether they are not politicians or businessmen. And so it's not just enough to arrest these men. I believe there are still who are the people that supply them weapons. They are collaborators within the security system. All these criminals, they always go to spiritualists to prepare one thing or the other for them. So until we get to the big masquerade, you know, behind every crime, you know, we may not be able to eventually get to the root of these problems. Because for them to have been able to kill, including the pregnant woman.
Sure.
The bloodiest attack we have seen, in fact, for a very long time. And, so I think, I don't believe that these 5 people are the only people involved. I think there are still other, either in the police or, that, people are trying to cover up. And also, I think the justice system, 6 years.
I was about to get there.
It's to
get closure.
Yes, it's just too long because a lot of people have forgotten.
Exactly.
A lot of people have forgotten. And this kind of very important.
Is it possible to get accelerated judgment?
It is possible.
Like this?
It is possible. Before, if you are having a case in the court of, rigging and all that, it will take you about 3.5 years. But now it's about 180 days. So we need to amend our law so that there should be speedy justice for this kind of crime. If somebody has, people killed more than 30 people, within 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they are still going to court of appeal. If you are not careful, this case will drag on and on and on and on, maybe for 15 years.
Let's not get there. But anyway, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Still Journalist Hangouts. Don't go anywhere.
Beyond the news headlines, experience impactful investigations, enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News, first with breaking news.
All right, let's go straight to our next story. Where the scourge of drug abuse has continued to ravage Nigerian society and the military is beginning to feel the pang of its impact on the troops. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, has decried the rising cases of drug abuse among soldiers deployed for military operations. General Lagbaja raised the alarm in Sokoto while declaring open a one-day seminar on warrior ethos with the theme Optimizing Warrior Ethos in the Nigerian Army, a panacea for operational effectiveness. The Army Chief expressed hope that the seminar would address the issue of drug abuse among soldiers. Bikio, has it gotten so bad where soldiers now use hard drugs to face terrorism? I mean, how did we get here?
There are many people in our armed forces who had been habitual drug users before they found their way into the armed forces. So it's not like something that they just started today. There's a policeman here in Lagos who used to go into an uncompleted building in the Ojodu area. Once it's around 1 o'clock, he will leave his duty post to come and smoke in the Ahem there. And sometimes when he goes there to smoke in the Ahem, he will find soulmates who have also come
to do same,
to smoke in the Ahem. Now, those are people that he should be arresting. But he won't arrest them because he came to do what those boys too came to do. So this extraordinary itch for drug use is not something that those soldiers just got into recently. Some may have been using drugs since their secondary school days.
Before they got into
the army, So this is the problem that we face. So once they go, whether those who have been using drugs since their university days, their secondary school days, even when they become successful bankers, successful politicians, you see them using drugs. And that's why, look, today, if they decide to do a urine test
on many of
the soldiers, many of our soldiers, including generals.
Including generals?
A lot of them, I'm telling you, a lot of them will be in trouble. I dare them to do a urine test, random urine test for for the officers and men, whether we won't be embarrassed by the outcome.
That's a really strong.
No, see,
you know.
Let me tell you, when the SARS was disbanded nationwide, they were told to come to Abuja to await the next line of action.
Okay.
They did urine test on them. And so many of those SARS operatives failed the urine test.
Wow.
Yes. What I'm saying is not fiction. This is the truth that they can't deny. They can't deny. So a lot of people, policemen, SARS men, other people in the tactical teams of the police, of the army, they use drugs. This is not the first time. On the 23rd of August, the Army Chief Lagbaja also lamented about 2023. So this is not the first time he's complaining. I'm saying that on the 23rd of August 2023,
last year,
General Lagbaja also made a similar complaint that drug use among troops was becoming a problem. So there's a lot of work to do, because if he complained about a year ago,
and he's still
a
complaining,
year and 1 month ago, and he's still complaining about the prevalence of drug use among his soldiers, then that means the thing has
gotten to
it has gotten to this point for him. And when there is rampant drug use, it will lead to the committing of other crimes. Somebody using drugs can turn his weapon on
the others,
soldiers, what you call friendly fire. It can even happen during the war. He can turn his weapon against people that they're supposed to be fighting on the same side and kill them. We saw that during the Gulf War. American troops, some American soldiers turned their guns on
their fellows,
on their colleagues fighting. They call it friendly fire. You know, so, and we've seen too in Adamawa and some other places where soldiers gunned down colleagues. And that's why we always suggest that, look, don't keep soldiers for too long at a location.
True.
A soldier who has been too long, he has not seen his family and all that, this could lead to soldiers even turning their weapons against one another.
Okay, yes, what should the military hierarchy be doing right now to purge its ranks? This is a serious one.
Yeah.
You know about the chief of army.
I think, you see, the use of drug is one of the worst vices in any society. And to now have it within the security circle even makes it, appalling. There are so many consequences. Unprofessional use of weapons, indiscipline, sabotage. A soldier that is on drugs sent to operation can sabotage his colleagues, because at that time he's not acting out of his own free will. He's acting based on external influence. And even for his own personal, negative impact, violent relationship, even with his children and his families. So, in dealing with this problem, we need a holistic solution. Why do soldiers also go into taking drugs? One of those the reasons is accessibility. If drug is accessible to them, they know they can access it, they will have it. Then stress. When some of them are sent to the war front and they are there for many years, they don't have access to Medicare, anti-venom, like if you are in some areas where there are snakes, you don't have enough equipment, then sometimes you are subjected to emotional abuse. It can compel you to begin to use drugs. So some of them think the best way is to use drugs in order to the need for alertness, so that you can confront a particular situation. But that's not the solution, because it will only act for some moment and then it will go away. So I think the army needs a new orientation, psychological approach Okay. And then they also need to deal with emotional trauma that those who have gone to war front go through. When you see dead bodies almost every day, see blood, you can turn you to do what you don't really want. So we need a psychological, sociological, all sort of approach so that we don't just condemn them. Many of them are afraid to even go for mental health because they are afraid they may be dismissed. So they just keep the problem. And I think what you are suggesting is what some other people do in other countries. They need to do periodic tests. That will put fear to the minds of individuals.
Now, mental health wellness of our soldiers should be a priority here, isn't it?
Of course. We need to put enough psychologists around them, whether they are clinical psychologists or just psychologists. They need them who can counsel them from time to time. Some of these soldiers also get involved in trafficking of drugs as well. One Olanrewaju Lawal on the 8th of March was arrested for trafficking of tramadol and other drugs. So, and he belonged to an organization that had been into drug trafficking.
Wow.
For God's sake, that's supposed to be a soldier. Eventually they put him on trial, so he's been taken out of the system now. So we need to take seriously this issue. For the army chief to have complained twice, that's to tell you that it's a very serious
It's a very, very serious
issue.
And that suggestion you gave, periodic urine test.
They should do it.
Even for generals.
Everybody.
3 years ago,
not just for foot soldiers.
Yes, you see, it's not easy to wean yourself of drug use if you had been used to it.
True.
It's extremely difficult.
True.
Somehow you go back to it. It's just like somebody who likes drinking. There are occasions when you suddenly be tempted. You know that this thing can cost you your life. But that urge, that itch to take it is always there. It's always there. When they see their friends, old friends, they say, bring the thing. Senior people, that's their senators, they still smoke.
Sure.
They smoke in their home, they smoke cannabis.
The military needs to work with NDLA.
Yeah, the NDLA needs to be brought in here. But anyway, all right, gentlemen, let's go to our next conversation, where the success of any administration hinges on the capacity and dedication of its cabinet members to deliver on assigned roles. In line with this, President Bola Tinubu has demanded fresh scorecards from his ministers ahead of a cabinet reshuffle. As ministers prepare their scorecards, intense lobbying has also begun from political bigwigs and ministers who seek to retain their positions. But the presidency noted that the cabinet reshuffle will be based on performance. Vicky, I'll start with you on this one. Would you say that it is time for a reshuffling based on performance of the, how many of them are 40 plus ministers in the last 1 year?
I don't know 46 or something.
That's why I'll just give it a 40 plus. But is 1 year too short a time to analyze them for the performance of a minister?
No, I won't say that, because we have so many ministers. The largest cabinet in Nigerian history.
True.
And we are not feeling the impact of most of them.
Most of them?
We are feeling the impact of very few of them, very few. And some of them don't even care. They don't care at all.
Some of them don't care.
They don't care. We have so many of these ministers extremely arrogant on nothing. You can't even get them to come and talk about what they are doing.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm happy that even the presidential spokesman talked about that. That the president is not happy that the ministers are not coming out to talk about his achievements. Because when you are talking about your own achievement, you're also talking about the president's achievements. Since they are not coming out, they are just not interested. So what kind of ministers are these? There are ministers who periodically should be addressing Nigerians. This is where we are on this matter. This is the extent that we have gone. Look at the matter of the people who treated, who allegedly treated Bobrisky
okay,
like an Arab king. the Minister of Interior should be briefing us. This is how far we've gone. Because what usually happens in Nigeria is after a while, everyone forgets. Nobody will talk about it again. I can tell you, even on my wall, on social media, people are saying, audio suspension. This is our fault. Because they could see that somebody in the cabinet of the president, as far back as January this year, was accused of moving money, billions of naira, into private accounts. That in itself is against extant laws. And the EFCC was called in. Has the EFCC told you how far they've gone? With the investigation? Yes. How long do they need to investigate her? How long? Do they need eternity to interrogate the woman and then put machinery in motion to make her face justice? They are the only ones who can answer these questions. If there is no desire to hide anything, you should tell Nigerians how far you've gone. You should tell Nigerians. When there is a big problem, Nigerians want to be informed. And I won't say that our standards are high. The most patient people in the world that any government can expect to have are Nigerians. Are Nigerians, true. If you do something for them, do something little for them, you will see Nigerians come out to sing your praises. They will be even routine things that people don't take credit for in other lands, like paying salary, like paying people's pension. They will still thank you. It's your work. Exactly. It's you worked. It's your wages, something that you deserve. Exactly. But in our country, it's not a given that you get paid for the work you did. Now, when a government pays regularly, it becomes a big achievement for which drums will be rolled red out carpet and on the rooftops. You see people shouting. Those are not things that they bother about in other countries. But in Nigeria, if you do it, you will be praised. Nigerians are the best followers of leadership in the world. I challenge anyone to tell me that we are not the best. Because Nigerians don't even need to be compelled by force of law before they follow their leaders. All that those leaders need is just to give a little bit to them. Look at Wike, for example. The work that Wike has done in Abuja, people are praising him. Even people in other parties. People are praising him. Even those who don't like him are still saying that he's... Yes, because they can see what he has done. He may not be your kind of person because he's too voluble. And he talks anyhow. But people will give him credit for the job that he has done. I'll be the last to say that he has not done well. The last time Wike and I spoke was when I went for that first media chat. Okay. Since that day, no communication. I don't need him to talk to me. I don't talk to his aides. But I'll give him credit where I need to. Where he's wrong, I will say, you are wrong. There's nothing you can tell me. Nothing if you tell me. Like there's one boy on TikTok, money. The first thing he will tell you, nothing if you tell me. So nothing if you tell me, Wike, if you do something wrong, I will still come and talk about it. But back to the conversation. 1 year is not enough to... 1 year is enough to say, let's reshuffle. 1 year is enough because some people, the way in this cabinet, there are some people, if you keep them for 10 years, they will still not make impact. Make any impact. They will still not make impact. All right, Adeola, what should we expect, in your opinion? Should we be expecting a reshuffling of the ministers or a replacement of some of them that you see as, according to the president, non-performing?
The important thing to note is that the president of a country cannot do everything. The sources of any administration depends on the president, but more on the ministers. If the ministers perform very well, you may not even notice the inadequacies of the president.
Yes.
But once the ministers are not performing, even if the president has very good ambition, you know, they need hope. If those ministers are not there to implement and explain to people, communicate to people, there's not going to be any result. And you see, we don't need to deceive ourselves. As I'm sitting here, I can only name about 15 ministers, write down their names, or less than that. Ask every Nigerian. Some cannot even name more than 3 or 4.
So on the top of your head, do you have ministers?
If the ministers are performing, Nigerians will know them. They will know them on social media everywhere. So the fact of the matter is that some of these people got... Some of these people got there maybe through Godfather, not because of competence, maybe because of political affiliation. So they don't have respect for Nigerians. They just think, that brought me, I'm loyal to. When you write them, people send me, no reply.
No reply.
So they are contemptuous of Nigerians. And whereas we are supposed to be the #1 priority, than Nigeria, because they are the one paying their salary. So they don't have respect for us at all. So I think 1 year, 365 days is enough.
It's enough.
In fact, 6 months is enough for a good minister. Yes. Most of these people are just political ambition.
Just there answering that.
So I think, like you mentioned, Wike, I've never met him before in my life. But I travel to Abuja often. When I get to Abuja, I ask questions from taxi drivers. In a day, I might take about 3 cabs. Oh, it's fantastic. They will complain about government.
Exactly.
But, no, Wike, no, that man...
Same thing with the
Umahi. You know?
Okay, the Umahi. Of God.
I mean, he had, a town hall meeting in Lagos here. People were invited, a lot of people. He was explaining government policies, talking to them.
What the ministers should be doing.
What are the other ministers doing? You can't even explain your... do you know that a lot of things are going on? Nigerians are not aware. They are not aware. It's not enough for you to just issue a press statement.
Exactly.
And then you think Nigerians you have told them. Engagement, constructive engagement with social and cultural forces all over the country. There are a lot of organized movements. Engage them. Talk to them. Our ministers are not doing that.
But these ministries, they have media teams. No, that should...
What they do is that they just issue a statement, then it will be online and all that. You have to engage with Nigerians. Look at what Umahi did now. He brought in associations, timber merchants, this, that, to explain. And he was doing that all along the coastal states. What are these our ministers doing? You can't even remember that there's a minister in many of them. So I expect both to happen.
Okay.
Reshuffling and replacement. And I think this time, the president needs to be very careful. He needs to do a lot of background checks. He needs people that have passion.
Okay.
People that have vision. People that understand what governance means.
Have capacity.
People have capacity.
So
who are tested.
Going back to the recruitment process of
the president himself must be on top, not that somebody has recommended this person. Many of them are a big disappointment to Nigerians and even to the president himself.
Monstrous disappointment.
Mikhail, let's talk about the recruitment process. Most of the time we say, okay, this person is going to be a minister, they take them to the Senate. Sometimes we even hear bow and go.
I know if, for example, you used to be in the Senate.
Okay.
You used to be in the Senate or House of Reps. If they appoint you, they will give you that honor. They won't screen you. They just let you go.
But how should...
But we've seen people who are in the Senate who have also shown gross incompetence.
Gross incompetence?
Yes. So this president, I knew from the word go that he would demand the best of his ministers.
Okay.
This is what I expected. And we said it on this program that this president must not be like the president before him. That didn't appear to have set any KPI for his ministers. And we challenged the president, we said, you must set a KPI for each and every one of your ministers. Then the president came up with the idea of mandating the former MD of Nigerian Port Authority, Adiza Bala Usman.
Okay.
Adiza Bala Usman is the SA policy coordination. Okay. So Adiza's job is to rate all of these ministers. Okay. I'm telling you, and God is my judge, there are ministers who do not even know what their ministers
anything about their ministers.
They don't know what their duty is. Is that bad? They don't even know what their responsibilities are. And we just put them there. No, it's time to do the right thing. Get such ministers out of the system.
Okay.
Get them out of the system. Those who are reluctant to even speak about the president, about what he has done. There are some of them, for political reasons, they are even ashamed to say that this president has done this in my ministry.
All right,
get them out of the system. You will find better people. It's as simple as that.
All right, BK, right about now we have Alwan Hassan, the public affairs commentator. He will be joining us on the phone. Alwan Hassan, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes,
Babajide,
good afternoon, my friend. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, so
so Babajide, you are right. You see, we want something different. We want a change in this council. There are a lot of ministers that we do not know, Babajide. Not that they have not realized their offices, but we do not know them. Who is the minister from Enugu? Who is the minister from Abia? We can ask these questions. Who are these people? Nobody knows them.
Yeah.
Who is the minister from, for example, from Taraba? Who is the minister from Yobe, former governor of Yobe State? What is he doing in police affairs? What are these people doing? You can't just give people appointments, keep them in the Federal Executive Council, and none of them is adding any value. None of them is adding any value. Why are we keeping these people? And we don't have time. What I want to make the president understand is we don't have time. We don't have the whole of the lifetime to manage Nigeria. He has only 4 years. And out of that 4 years, he's already close to taking on 2 years. We are at the 15th or 16th month. But by next year, around this time, if nothing is done about this formation or setup of a government, we're going to face a lot of trouble.
All right.
Because, of course, about 30 of them are not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So 30 ministers.
So
you can count.
What do you expect now? A reshuffling or a combination of reshuffling and sacking?
Let me tell you, sack. We cannot reshuffle incompetence. Where are you taking them to? You want to carry somebody from, for example, science and technology that is incompetent and take him to education? You're reshuffling incompetence. Every of our ministries are important. If the minister is not performing, let him go. We cannot manage mediocres. Mediocrity is not supposed to be in the system. Babajide, sack them and appoint. If you try them for another 3-6 months, Hadiza Bala Usman is a fantastic lady. She's done this, I think, in the last 3 months, and she's given the president the results of the KPI. So, but then maybe he's taking his time, maybe for replacement. Maybe he doesn't want to announce sacking. He wants to announce sacking with replacement. So, but these are the things. We don't have time. Mr. President needs to know that action needs to be taken. The government is slow. In fact, it's static. Nothing is happening. Apart from the statements that will come out of his office, no ministry. These guys are not inspiring hope, Babajide. They don't inspire hope. Your ministers are your ambassadors, as they are supposed to be inspiring hope. They don't. We don't even know them. You and I cannot mention more than 10 ministers in this country, and we have 48 of them or 47 of them.
No,
I'm getting tired of this, Babajide. I'm getting tired of this.
Honestly, you are not the only one, because we expect progress. We expect movement in many areas that we are not seeing. How can the Naira slide to the level that it is now?
Babajide, we thought of this president to be different from Buhari.
Yes.
Buhari took us this slow. He took us this slow-mo, but we thought Ashwaju would be swift and faster. So, but then it's as if we're back at it again. It's crazy, Babajide. It's crazy. We don't have time.
Hassan, how does the president find the right people? Because it's politicians and people who are close to the president who nominate people.
And sacking. Babajide is by appointing and sacking. Anybody can nominate anybody. If you appoint them today, give them 3 months. If they don't perform, you sack and replace. Capacity is not by CV. They might bring the president a fantastic CV. Capacity is not in the CV. Capacity is by testing. If you test them and see that they don't perform in the first quarter or second quarter, sack them. Before you know it, we'll get to the best. This was exactly what he did in Lagos. He was sacking people. He even changed his deputy governors like twice. So you sack and appoint somebody in that position. And once that person refused to perform, or he found out that he's also incompetent, somebody else. We must get it right.
Alua, why is it that some ministers, especially from northern Nigeria, are reluctant to even talk about what the president is doing? Why are they reluctant to do interviews, to talk about the progress that is being done? Is it politics that they are playing or what?
Yes, most of them, let me tell you, Babajide, most of them, and I'm telling you this authoritatively, I know a lot of ministers that will not vote for us in 2027. Federal cabinet ministers that will campaign against us if we are not careful. What happened with Jonathan in 2015 will happen to us in 2027. Ministers and parastatals agencies, heads of parastatals and agencies will vote and campaign against us.
Yeah. So should we still keep such people?
Not anything in their ministry, Babajide, how do you expect them to go on air and to the people? They are even afraid. Why? Because the people ask them, what have you done to us? And they've not done anything.
Yeah.
In 15, 16 months, nothing has happened. And the president is still keeping them, Babajide. We don't blame them for not doing anything because, of course, if you're not competent, we don't expect you to do anything. But then the president should sack them.
All right, thank you, Alwan Hassan.
We don't even have the resources, Babajide, to manage such a federal executive council. Huge, humongous numbers. We don't even have the resources, and we don't have the time to train people on the job.
All right, thank you.
That we are going to train ministers on the job.
All right, thank you, Alwan Hassan. Alwan Hassan is the convener of North-South Progressive Alliance. Thank you so much. We need to go on this quick break, and when we'll return, we'll come back with our final conversation. Don't go anywhere.
Quality wires and cables. Come and come back, light up your life. Come and want to light up your house. Come and want to give you better. Come and extraordinary wire. Come and cables. Come and wires. Come and quality. Come and durable. Come and capable. Come and cables. Come and wires. Come and quality. Come and durable. Come and capable. Everybody, come and see. Come and wires, one in a days. Brother, sister, uncle, auntie, go get your own. Come and wires, come and cables. Come and quality, come and durable, come and capable. Come and wires, come and cables. Come and quality, come and durable, come and capable.
Coleman Wires and Cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
This 1st of October, experience Nigeria's 64th Independence Day celebration like never before. Join us as we bring you comprehensive coverage of this special day. At 7 a.m., we kick off with the President's address to the nation, live from the nation's capital, followed by in-depth analysis, dissecting the key points of Mr. President's speech. Back to ground for the Independence Day parade. We'll bring you live updates, special reports, and exclusive interviews. Throughout the day, our studio will be a revolving door for eminent personalities, providing deep insights to the nation's journey to greatness. Stay with TVC News across all platforms this Tuesday, 1st of October, to celebrate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Well, if you just joined us, this is Journalist Hangout. I still have the gentleman right here in the studio. Our final conversation. The true measure of leadership, they say, is in quality service delivery to the people. The chairman, Shomolu Local Government Area of Lagos, Abdulhamid Salau, popularly known as Dula, embodies this mantra. The council chairman is spearheading transformative development in the area. His strides are seen through laudable projects like the construction of 63 roads in the council area, his focus on healthcare delivery, education and security. Let's hear more about his developmental efforts in this story by TVC News Adedoja. Salam Adeni.
Shomolu, a local government area in Lagos State, is known for its printing industry, which is the largest in the state and one of the most diverse in Nigeria. The 2006 census put Shomolu's population at 403,569. Given the rapid growth rate and urbanization over the past 18 years, the current population is likely to be in the millions. The densely populated Shomolu is now witnessing rapid industrial growth due to its network of roads, which has significantly raised property value, establishing it as a premier business hub.
Abdulhamid Salau, popularly known as Dula, the chairman of Shomolu local government area, has been making waves with his initiatives, a strong stance against crime, promising to ensure Shomolu is crime-free. His focus on infrastructure development and healthcare service delivery, aligning with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's Teams Plus agenda to enhance the quality of life for Lagos residents, are the reasons for our visit to this local government.
The local government is partitioned into 8 administrative wards, which are Onipanu, Okesunu Alashe, Igbari Akoka, Fadeyi Igbobi, Bashua, Orile Shomolu Alade, Bajulaye Folagoro, Ijebutedo Panguf. Our journey began at Fadeyi Igbobi ward. Oyebajo Street, once in a state of disrepair, has undergone a remarkable transformation, offering residents a new and improved experience. Folake Adegbeshin has called this place home for about a decade. She is now back to her favorite hobby, cycling.
The road was bad and it's not good for even the motorist, but now everybody can enjoy it. Before I can't really do the exercise by riding the bicycle, even trying to do some jogging. I can't do that, but now it's very easy for me to do the jogging and do the riding of the bicycle.
It had been in a very deplorable way. There are erosions on the way. If the erosion is so much that we cannot even control it. But when Dula came, he made some interventions by controlling the erosion along the Isaac John and Army Barrack there. He made some culvert there. He did another culvert here. So he was able to contain the water.
Kalejaye Street is also wearing a new look.
We normally complain, but God listened to us through our chairman. So they started the construction. So, and it ends this way, and we were so happy. We were happy. There's nobody that will come to this place that will not pray for the chairman.
Tola Oduton Street forms the dividing line between Shomolu and Yaba. My left-hand side is Shomolu, while this side is Yaba. Residents shared with me their immense relief following the construction of this 628 meters long road by Dula.
Ọ̀nà yóò dá tẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́ pé ọ̀nà yìí máa ń ṣe gbágun-gbágun. A máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Dula tó bá wa tún ọ̀nà yìí ṣe nísìn. Ọ̀nà yìí tí ó sì dùn wò. Tẹ́yìn gan bá rí nísìn ó ti yàtọ̀ títí tẹ́lẹ̀.
Machine cannot pass this place before, but now we thank God that machine and motor can pass.
God, I brought a local government chairman, Shomolu, who is Dula. I know his name. I know him very well. Yes. Today he tied the road, everything, everywhere. Both the Shomolu local government people, the Yaba local government people that said, I no agree. But today, we are all here enjoying the road.
Men are seriously at work on Isaac John Street.
Here on Isaac John Street, there's Fadeyi Shomolu. The street used to be highly challenging for us residents, especially when rain falls. As in, it's almost impassable. Okay, but with this construction that we're having now, we thank God for the chairman.
that remembered us, has given us a very good, highly durable. It's durable because it's interlocking roads. The ambience, the aesthetics has been highly commendable. And we only pray that he continues this kind of jobs. He's all over Shomolu. I think he's been doing similar jobs there.
The revitalized street has put Florence Thomas, affectionately called Mama Chelsea, in raptures.
Àdúgbò yìí mi ò mọ̀ pé ó lè dà báyìí torí tí òjò bá rọ̀ ní àdúgbò yìí ṣe rí gbogbo bíbá yìí omi ni o kenú la máa fi kọjá tẹ wá rí ṣọ́ọ̀pù tèmi kò sí tójò bá rọ̀ tí bá ń wà nílé máa sáré bọ̀ ni o torí omi máa ń wọ ọbẹ̀ tí máa gbọ́n mi ni òjò kan ti ẹ̀rọ láti ládùúgbò yìí kò sẹ́ni tí ò gbọ́n mi ládùúgbò yìí ṣe rí gbà tó ń fi fóònù pè mí pé omi ti yalé àgbàrá ti ya ṣọ́ọ̀pù mò ń sáré bọ̀ ni gbà tí máa dénú ṣọ́ọ̀pù mi ó ti bà ọgbọ ọjà mi jẹ́ bọ̀ lọ́jọ́ kan tí mo wá ń bọ̀ tí mo wá rí signboard ní junction àìsí john lọ́hùn pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe títì yìí esma mò ń jó ni pé yes ó padà kàn wá.
More than 25% of the roads constructed in Shomolu are done with paving stones. Aside from its aesthetic appeal, interlocking pavers, also known as interlock stones, reduces water accumulation and erosion, effectively increasing its lifespan.
Good morning. Good to see you. Well done. Thank you.
I'm meeting for the first time the man responsible for constructing 63 roads in this local government. My first question to Honorable Abdulhamid Salawu, popularly called Dula, is what's driving the widespread construction in Shomolu, making it look like one big construction site?
Like me in Shomolu local government, I relate with the CDA and the CDC in our local government to let them know, okay, what do you guys need in your various wards, so that we won't have to go and build school where they need roads. So then, whenever we call for a stakeholders meeting, they will all tell us. They will tell us, these are the things that we need in our wards and all that. So when we do that, then we take a look at it. Okay, what is the next thing for us to do? We'll call for an ESCO meeting. We'll discuss it, and I want to come that out.
Healthcare is another focus area of the Dula administration.
We commissioned this place December 10th, 2021, and it is Her Excellency Dr. Ebijo Kesonwolu that came to commission it. It's a very big one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Oyebode.
Okay, Dr. Oyebode. Thank you so much.
My chair. How are you, sir?
So we are here to explore what we have here.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
More than 40 patients are seen at this primary health care center daily.
We are not typhoid and malaria clinic health center. This is Lagos State, and we attend to all sorts of ailments like medical emergency, minor surgical emergency, and our antenatal clinic days is Wednesday. We also have family planning clinic days, which is on the Friday. So this is suctioning machine for child that did not cry well, that we are not satisfied with the way they cry. They are the one that we use suctioning, or the have mucus aspiration.
The PHC has the basic amenities of a standard hospital, including labor room, laboratory, pharmacy, and eye clinic.
E-A-X-D. What do you do now to prioritize in terms of incentives so that doctors can stay? Because you know the issue of Japa now, especially for our medical personnel, is on the rise.
No, in Shomolu, we don't mean they won't do that because the local government chairman is really taking our administration. We are doing very, very good.
So what do you do to entice them so that they stay?
Look at them. You can ask me. I don't need to tell you. You can ask from them that what is the local government chairman is doing. They will tell you that.
What I can say that the chairman is doing that is different from what all other people are doing is very closer to us. He makes sure that there is no time, that there is no light, and that there is no water. And that is very paramount in a facility like this. And also, when there is festive, he makes sure that he gives out some things just to encourage us. And he's planning more to do something like the best staff in a month and the likes, so as to do more motivation for the staff.
From there, the chairman took us to his ultra-modern council secretariat. All the interlocking pavers used in constructing roads in Shomolu are made here.
Make sure we are giving them a very solid one. Why? Because in 2017 we didn't have this idea. Sometimes when we do roads, we award the roads for the contractors and all that. Another maybe a year or 2 years after, we end up having a bad road. Okay, let's stop this asphalt of a thing. Let's start. Let's start with interlocks. So here we are today. We now went ahead and purchased the machine to produce the interlock, and we are doing one of the best interlock. In some areas, they are doing 6 inches. You know, when you look at this is 9 inches.
Wow, 9 inches. It's very heavy.
Very heavy.
Wow, very heavy.
This is the best. This is one of the best in. This is the federal standard, not local government standard.
Is it open for commercial?
No.
Why not?
No. I want to make sure I fix all the roads in Shomolu local government before we can even think about any other thing. But for now, let's fix Shomolu local government roads.
How many roads have you fixed so far?
For now, with this interlock, it's probably like 20-something.
20-something out of the 62
out
roads
of the 62
that you've done.
Shomolu Local Government Secretariat boasts of more than 500 staff, 2 floors legislative council chamber, fire station, 1,000-seat auditorium, and police station upgraded from a police post, all enhancing community services and safety. We explored the new 4-floor secretariat with more than 150 offices.
Shomolu used to be a very volatile area that the crime is so high. But I mean, we look at all corners to see what are we going to do. And now realize that infrastructure will make them run away. We will fix the road, we'll put street lights, we'll unveil them. Let the people see them that these are the bad people. With that, they started running away. That's how we reduce crime in Shomolu local government.
We've arrived at Wesley Primary School, which is currently under construction. Besides it stands another hospital. Along this axis is the Olaleye Market, popularly known as the Bird Market.
This market got born May 30, 2020. It was a terrible day for us, but we thank God and Dula because he stood by us. Many heads were raised. They don't want this market to come to stay. They don't want it to be market again. But Dula, with the help of God, he stood with us. This market come back. He's the one that built this market for us. To now become ultra-modern market in Shomolu.
Beautiful report by Dr. Salama Deji talking about the exploits of man popularly known as Dula.
I'm really, really proud of him. This is the kind of success story that we want to see. Somebody described him to me as the best local government chairman in Lagos. I then said, oh, are you sure of what you are saying? He said, why don't you try and do an investigative story? And then they said, okay, Doja, one of the best we have at doing specials, go and do this story. Let's see whether this guy has indeed done all the things that they told me. And that's how Doja went there. And you can see a local government chairman delivering 63 roads, and 25 of them through paving stones. I mean, it's extraordinary. And the question you ask is, if people like Dula now have autonomy that the president fought for,
the
financial autonomy, the sky will be their target. It won't be their limits. They will be able to do a lot more. Look at what we are seeing. Health care delivery, primary health centers, you know, and some of those primary health centers can handle the things that people go to tertiary health institutions for. So, look at what he did. Asphalted roads, as far as is concerned, do not last. He decided, especially in areas where you have perennial flooding.
Exactly.
He decided to now set up a small company where they will be producing paving stones, not for sale, but simply for the road construction in the local government. And look at the quality of the paving stones. Look at that picture of the local government secretariat that is building. You know, with aluminium cladding. See how beautiful it is. So we need to look at it. This is the point that I'm making. Exactly. Taking it away. We need to. There's the local government secretariat that is building. You look at this, you think it's the Zenith Bank headquarters in terms of the way they've used the aluminium cladding. See how beautiful it is, even at this stage. We need people like Dula. We need local government chairmen who will help us show to the world that local governments can indeed bring governance close to the people. Because if you have hospitals in the neighborhood, you have other things. You are generating employment. The economy, yes, the economy of the local government will do very well. And that's why we're saying that now crime wave has gone down tremendously, because it's not only building those roads, it's lighting up those roads.
Talk to me. Looking at this, bringing government closer to the people. Dula is setting an example here.
He's an inspiration to the 774 local government chairmen all over the country. And I believe very strongly that if you assess all local government, perhaps I think we can say it's the best for now. He is not the richest local government in Nigeria. Not even the richest in Lagos. Absolutely.
Oh, not even the richest in Lagos.
Of course, it can't be the richest in Lagos. So, but it shows that local government chairmen can make tremendous impact in the lives of their people. And it also shows that if they are working, you don't need to go and do newspaper that people will know. People will look for you. Here, somebody is publicist child. But when people are seeing those roads, people have to go and look for him. The first inspired me when I read about he's giving 50 million naira to petty traders, as to empower them. And then he built. There was a market that got burnt in 2020, and then he built a new one, modern one. Then he organized ICT 3 weeks, summer boot camp for younger people. So I look at this and I say, local government chairman doing this. And if you look at Chomolu, that used to be known for violent crimes and all that, it has gone down.
Autism.
Because there's somebody engaging them, give them jobs and, so I think it's an inspiration, it's a leader to watch.
So basically, leadership is not difficult.
Yes.
Do the right thing.
Yes, we need people like this to lead this country.
The people are not.
We are talking about ministers. You see their pictures. Some are in Dubai, going to London. They are happy to put the pictures. That's the achievement. But look at concrete things being done. Some governments, some state government cannot even do these roads.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Some state governments, they can't.
Like this.
So and look at the way he's dressed.
And I also
dressed.
think this is
I'll tell you,
a clear sign that the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Son, gives this local government some sort of autonomy, high level of autonomy, isn't that? Just
Lagos does well in terms of that. When you look at even the House of Assembly, it's probably the best in Nigeria. Lagos State House of Assembly, you need to go there and see some of the positive things that have happened there. The Speaker, Obasa, has provided solid leadership. I'm really impressed in that young man. And even in terms of infrastructure, the place has become completely different. So they have a high level of freedom that you don't see in other houses of assembly. So again, the governor has to be praised for the efforts that he's making. And what we've seen Dula do, I expect that other chairmen will be challenged.
Exactly.
So to try and outperform Dula, let it be a competition. And the governor, as their leader, needs to call them, look, have you seen what happened in Shomolu? Exactly. What are you doing?
A healthy rivalry.
So that way, we will have a lot of good stories to tell.
Yes, and the people benefit.
The people will benefit. Of course, the people are the final...
True, the consumer here.
Yes, so...
Anyway, thank you so much.
It's a happy day.
Exactly.
I've seen this. I'm really happy. I was even emotional at the point. Thank God for Dula. May God take him to greater heights. May God make positive things happen in his life. As Wale said, these are the kind of people that we need in leadership. People who can point at what they have done. People who come from nowhere and then they will be so arrogant and we can't even approach them. This is a man who is approachable. So he's one of the steps. The qualities that we need in leaders. They must be approachable. They must have empathy. He talked about that market. You can see that market, those women are back there because he constructed a new one for them.
Thank you, Dula. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having this conversation. BK, the veteran.
Thank you. I appreciate
for having this conversation. And that's it on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrencies.
We unveil and analyze complex policies of the CBN and other government parastatals as they affect your everyday life, keeping you a step ahead every time.
Okay. is the element. Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
This 1st of October, experience Nigeria's 64th Independence Day celebration like never before. Join us as we bring you comprehensive coverage of this special day. At 7 a.m., we kick off with the President's address to the nation, live from the nation's capital, followed by in-depth analysis, dissecting the key points of Mr. President's speech. Back to ground for the Independence Day parade. We'll bring you live updates, special reports, and exclusive interviews. Throughout the day, our studio will be a revolving door for